Hey guys, Sen here. Today I've achieved a perfect raid against WHF, one of the most renowned war clans in the game. Well, almost a perfect raid. You can see there at number 8, we took 16 attacks and not 15. When we matched up against them, I had told my clanmates in chat that I wanted all of their bases to myself and to hold off, but someone decided to go in against the easiest base, Wizard Valley, and take 3 attacks, ruining the perfect 15 performance. But I still went perfect against them, 3 attacks on the capital peak and 2 attacks on each of the other districts against one of the best clans out there, and I've got some sick replays to show. Kicking things off, we have Golem Quarry, and you can see down on my troop bar I have a crazy army prepare. Starting off, we have a ram down south to test for traps, and so I can send in a Larry Barrel down here to help clear some of these ground targeting single target defenses as well as air defenses. You can see down here isn't well covered by splash, with the exception of this one cannon that's covered by this one mortar. And that's going to cause me a few problems, but we'll get through that. So we're dropping our Larrys in one at a time, so we're not too weak to traps, even though we're sending rams as well. But you can see that mortar has already taken out that pack of Larrys that was on this cannon, but they softened up the cannon so that my other pack of Larrys can come over and finish it off and then dodge the mortar shells. You can see that one bomb hit some of my Larrys, but because we only have a couple of Larrys out at a time, it doesn't hit very much, as well as that next bomb that only hit like 1 or 2. And now we're dropping in a Barbarian down low to help clear some of this trash building so we can start deploying troops even further up the right side. And we're just dropping in our Larrys one at a time. You can see we also have 2 P.E.K.K.A.s and a Rage in this army composition, and that is for when my Larrys clear up this right side of the base, and so I can they will set a funnel for my P.E.K.K.A.s to go up the right side over here without that much single target ground targeting defenses, and so they can clear the blast bow and the rocket artillery with the help of that Rage to push them in further. And so at this point, we also had 2 rocket balloons as fail-safes for my Larrys in case I needed to clear any more buildings, and because this cannon and this rapid rocket is super important for the funnel, I decided to invest 1 rocket balloon over there, and then 1 Barbarian to help finish off that rapid rocket, and then 1 other rocket balloon on the left side air defense over there, because we want to finish off this base with a fortress, and that's why we also have 3 lightning spells in the army composition. And that is to zap down this rapid rocket and this air defense, soften that up for the next attack. We only have 1 more ram left, and so we can only get through that first wall, and we hope for our P.E.K.K.A.s to beat through the wall. One of them goes around to go for the air defense, the other one is smart, and she goes after the wall, and now they're both through the wall. The other one wraps back around once the air defense goes down. But yeah, you can see I almost never use P.E.K.K.A., and this is why. Even when you find such a great situation for them, where there's not much single target ground targeting defenses over here, but they're still just so squishy, they move so slowly that even with the Rage as well, they just get melted. But you can see that one P.E.K.K.A. gets to the multi-mortar and just is in range of the air defense for its death damage to take it out, which was so sick for this finishing attack where we're coming in with our fortress and using air. So starting off, we have 2 rocket loons on the spear thrower and the air defense to help take those out, as well as tank for our fortress on the approach. Then our fortress moves in and tanks all 3 of these big defenses, and we sneak in 1 more rocket loon to help DPS those all down. You saw earlier that we zapped down the air defense that we softened up, and then we zapped down the last air defense on the back end, and there's no more air defenses left on this base. At this point, the fortress is just moving through really slowly. We'll support it with 1 more rocket balloon down here to clear out this 1 flanking spear thrower over here, as well as you're going to see it's going to pull a zap trap for me, which is really nice. We're just going to 2 times speed through this at this point. The fortress is really slow. There's not much damage on it, and now it's just going to clear a bunch of ground targeting defenses as it moves into that last section with the rocket artillery and 1 air bombs. And you can see down on our troop bar, we have a bunch of minions and a bunch of rocket balloons to help support it through that last section of the base. And we're going to drop them in as my fortress moves in to converge on all of those buildings. Once that air bombs gets locked onto my fortress, I sneak in my last 2 rocket loons to help come in and just take that all out on the backside. My fortress is pretty low, but this is how all of these attacks look like using the fortress. We're still able to get down this base, and this is a level 5 Golem Quarry, and we don't even have any of our CH10 offense upgrades yet, so we're actually at a bit of a disadvantage on this raid, but we're able to get this done. Next up, we have Barbarian Camp, and once again, because we just hit CH10, we don't have any of the offense upgrades, and so we only have level 4 rocket balloons. And you can see in the middle there, there is a level 5 maxed out rocket artillery. These things look so intimidating, but even more than just looking intimidating, they are, because they will one-shot under-leveled balloons. So a level 5 rocket artillery one-shots level 4 balloons, and we can absolutely not try to push into this thing with rocket balloons. You either have to kill that thing with archers or find some other means like using lightning spells, which we're going to do here, because when a rocket artillery is one-shotting your rocket balloons, it's basically impossible to try to sneak into it. Now, we drop in a camp of minions on the barracks. They're also going to get some damage on this cannon, which means our rocket balloons can one-shot the cannon afterwards and surge ahead towards the spear thrower, and we're targeting some of the other air defenses that's near the outskirts of the base. And we're going to move up the left side now after we've cleared out some of that right side stuff with a skeleton barrel over here, because I see there's not much splash coverage down on this side with a ram to surge ahead for some traps. Those skeleton barrels are going to pop and grab me a cannon like that. And a Mega Hin Tesla pops over here, and so I drop in 1 rocket balloon to tank the air bombs, and then 2 rocket balloons to take out the air defense, sneak in and grab the Tesla. Once that air bombs is a little distracted, we sneak in some more rocket balloons, 1 to take it out, and 1 to grab some damage on some of the left side buildings. And now at this point, we only have 3 rocket balloons, so we have to be careful. We drop in 1 pack of rocket balloons to help take out the air defense and a cannon. And then our last 2, I wanted to drop them in the middle between this mortar and this rapid rocket to one-shot them and push into the rocket artillery, but they don't quite get in the center of those 2 defenses. They take them out one at a time, and they don't get on top of the rocket artillery, but that is fine. We got a lot on this first hit, and we even set up our zaps for the second attack, where we're going to zap down that rocket artillery. Looking super scary there in the middle of the base. I basically planned out every rocket deployment drop on this attack. I always do that when I'm up against a really serious barbarian camp, and that's something you can consider doing as well. Now, against this base, to finish it off, I do something really cool. I drop a ram in between this Mega Hin Tesla and the spear thrower to tank both of them, and I'll drop a camp of minions to take out the spear thrower, and then those minions will work down into this area with no air targeting fire anymore, and they'll clear a bunch of trash for me to make sure I don't time fail. And the ram also tanks this Tesla so that my loons can sneak in and take out this cannon that's low, and then go on top of this Tesla and take it out. And so you're going to see that in action in a little bit, but we're going to finish up with our zaps to even grab a spear thrower out of the deal. We're going to drop in that ram, like I said, the minions, and a rocket balloon, and then we're just going around the base, 3 rocket balloons on the rocket artillery. Then we're going to drop a couple more to go into the rapid rocket, and then we're going to make sure that this air bombs is tanked at all times so it's not shooting a big pack of balloons. So now that air bomb is down and there's no more splash defenses left on the base, we're free to drop in our rocket balloons in big packs at this point, just targeting in those last defenses, the Teslas, the rapid rockets on the backside. And once those all go down, there's a couple of spear throwers left. They're not too threatening, and we have a bunch of rocket balloons left, and those rocket balloons are going to have enough to push through all of that on the backside with some minions, like I said, down there, pushing through all of those trash buildings for me, so we don't run into any time issues. And this is this Barb camp down in 2 attacks as well. And now we have a super sick hit against the Builder's Workshop. You can see that I have cannon carts down in the troop bar. I noticed that this bottom section over here has a bunch of air bombs, air defenses, and all of these air targeting defenses that aren't going to shoot at my cannon carts and are going to be really good to take out for a rocket balloon hit. And so we're coming in with our cannon carts to try to snipe all of those down. And there's not that much ground targeting fire on this bottom side over here. We can easily tank all of that with giants, rams, and a Larry barrel and some barbarians. We don't even bring a heal spell or a rage spell for our carts. We actually just use all of our spells as lightning spells to zap down backside air defenses for our finishing hit with rocket balloons. And so we're coming in, dropping in our troops one at a time, making sure our cannon carts aren't being targeted, but we're also not spamming in all of our giants and barbarians and rams so that they're not all getting splashed at the same time to get the most taking out of all of those troops. And so we're dropping in our final cart in, because I see those two carts are wrapping downwards towards the giant cannon compartment, and so I want to drop that last one higher and so we can grab some spear throwers on the top side. And we even picked off some of those right side point defenses if you saw there with a giant and two barbarians, and we now have a skeleton barrel to go up the right side and see if we can grab some of those air defenses over there as well. So at this point, we've already taken out a huge chunk of the base. We have that cannon cart locked onto that air bombs. These bottom two cannon carts locked onto that air defense. They take that out as well, and we're also going to grab that mega hidden Tesla, which is super nice. We've already zapped down this top side of air defenses, and we have two more left to help set up for the finishing attack. And we're going to fast forward from here because this raid is over, and we're just going to finish off what is left on this base, which isn't much, with lightning spells and rocket balloons. So once we zap down, we actually missed the zap on the spear thrower because I am a goober. And once we zap that all down, we drop in 2 packs of minions over here on the cannon, and then 1 ram to go in and help tank for this mega hidden Tesla a little bit. And so those minions can just swarm that thing down. We also open up the compartment towards the blast bow so we can start deploying loons closer once we take that down. At this point, we tank the blast bow with the camp of minions, and we start going in with our rocket balloons. 1 minion on the mega hidden Tesla tanks the air bombs. 3 packs on the blast bow just pushes through that blast bow, and now we're just working in. We have 6 more rocket balloons, a ton of rocket balloons swarming in those last few defenses, and yeah, you can see this base is just completely killed. There's nothing you can do at this point. We got so much value on that first attack with just our cannon carts, not using any spells on them. We just correctly identified that the base had a huge weakness by putting all of those air defenses down there, and we made sure to punish it for it. Now we have Dragon Cliffs, and they've actually done something really weird with their Dragon Posts, putting them all together like this. I don't really agree with this, but we're going to see how we're able to take this down. First of all, we push through this right side with a Larry Barrel to help grab some of those ground targeting single target defenses for me. And we're going to push in with a rage spell towards those first 2 Dragon Posts. Do pay attention in a moment to how I drop my archers and rams, because this is a really good showcase on how you can efficiently take down some of these dragons. First of all, we're going to push into that first Dragon Post. We want to take that thing down. So a bomb pops, we wait for that to subside, and then we wait for the dragon to fly around the post so that we can target its post with some archers. Now that post is down, and so those dragons can go wherever they want in the base. We drop in 2 packs of archers to help snipe both of those dragons that are sort of layered on top of each other, and then we drop a barbarian down low towards the air defense to pull those dragons into me. And you can see just 2 packs of archers under rage with some tanking are going to kill 2 dragons. So 10 camp space per dragon, really sick. We now have some hog raiders to go in and clear some of these defenses that are super spread out like this. Hog raiders are really good at taking out straggling defenses like this, so they're going to go in and grab a bunch of defenses, take out both of those spear throwers, and then go in and grab a wizard tower as well. Now we're working up the top side of the base. We want to flank all the way around in order to get the Inferno Tower blast bow and easily reach these 3 Super Dragon Posts on the backside as well. And so we're going to fast forward from here because we only have a couple camps of archers left, and we're not going to get that much out of them, and it's really slow and boring to watch, so 4 times speed through all of this nonsense. Just dropping in those archers one at a time. Notice how I dropped that 1 ram far away to tank the blast bow as those archers work through the Inferno Tower. You want to be tanking for your archers as they leave stealth, and you're going to get way more out of them. But we run out of time, and we're going to go in with our finishing attack, where we come in with some more archers, some more rage to help push through those last 3 dragons. You see we even have 3 super wizards, so we can get through this district hall with a super wizard bomb and grab a couple of defenses like that super nicely. We only have a couple of hog raiders, so we are expecting our archers and wizards to basically push through the rest of the base. And you're going to see how we're going to do that. So we're going to first snipe that first dragon post, drop 2 camps of archers on that dragon, and then once those archers are about to leave stealth, we just drop in 1 ram to help open up the wall, as well as tank for those archers. Now both of those dragons are out once more, so we drag them out a little bit further and then drop in 3 camps of archers this time, and we tank for those archers with some more rams. And you can see we still have 4 packs of archers left, And we're just going to drop in our 3 super wizards on top of the district hall without any tanking, because there's basically no fire on them anyways. And they're going to grab that all down, chain down the bomb tower and wizard tower super low. Now we have a couple of hog raiders, like I said, on the back side to clear out the last few defenses on the base. And we even have some more archers under rage where we can target some of these last few point defenses on the base. We're actually going to hold on to the last hog raider, and so we can deploy it to fly over the cliff's edge and help target that wizard tower. And so the big pack of my hogs doesn't get splashed, which is a nice finishing touch because all of my hogs are basically going to be really low after they get hit by that bomb tower. But yeah, that is dragging cliffs down super easily in 2 attacks as well. Now last but certainly not least, we have the capital peak, because we do what is probably the sickest trick that we do all video. Now against this base, you can see that the defender has basically trapped this bottom right section where you can spawn your troops to make it as hard as possible to start deploying troops outside of it. And you're going to see how we just absolutely blast through it. So I see that over here, there's not much air coverage, especially if I'm going to deploy air troops between this rapid rocket and this bomb tower. You can see the air defenses don't quite cover it. And other than that, there's just a rapid rocket and a blast bow firing down here. And so I start off dropping in 3 rams to help open up the walls, as well as proc any zap traps. Drop in a rage and then a Larry barrel to distract, and then a super dragon comes in to burn down all of these defensive troops and burn this entire section of the base down. We drop in some rams, sort of like how we drop in those rams against the super dragons on Dragon Cliffs to help hold those ground targeting troops in place, so that super dragon just blast all of them down. And you can see the super dragon clears that entire section under rage, also grabs a bomb tower and half healths that blast bow in 1 breath. So super dragon is super squishy, but sometimes you can just find certain sections of the base that it can get so much value against. And you can see that one super dragon pushed through all of those defensive troops as well as all of those defenses in that section, which would have costed so many more packs of archers to help grab all of that through. So that was a really cool trick that I did against this base. And now we're going to push our way in. We want to grab this other super dragon, at least this defensive super dragon on the backside if possible. And we're going to try to pull it with some archers and then hold it in place with a ram trick like we do against the Dragon Cliffs. But you can see that our archers just keep dying to traps, and so that dragon just keeps going back. But eventually, another small bomb pops actually, but eventually we drop in this 1 pack of archers to take out this rapid rocket over here. We're going to fast forward from this point, and one of those archers splits off and pulls that super dragon to where we drop in 2 packs of archers and a couple of rams to distract that super dragon even further, and we take that all down. At this point, we've taken out so much of the base that I decide it's time to goof off. I don't recommend doing this, but I'm actually going to come in with hogs because I do not feel like using any more archers. I'm just going to straight up use some hogs to start in on this bottom section of the base, grab that giant cannon, tank that Tesla and the giant cannon with a ram or 2, as well as opening up the walls. I drop in a heal to push through that first giant cannon. We're going to make sure that we stun this crusher. Actually, it's pretty low, and so we're going to make sure that we take out that crusher before our hogs reach there. We even have a Larry barrel to just come in. Basically, that Larry barrel is emotional support at this point because we dropped it in a little bit late, but that Larry barrel is like our cheerleader that's going to fly behind my hog raiders, cheering them on, and those Larrys are going to get busted open by those rapid rockets and are also going to clear a bunch of clan houses. And before those hogs get in range of that rocket artillery, that max rocket artillery, we make sure we drop in a P.E.K.K.A. to help tank it. And yeah, you can see why it was a bad idea to go hog raiders on this attack, because the rocket artillery, the blast bow, the town hall, capital eagle, basically, they're all raining down on my hogs, turning them into bacon in basically no time flat. So yeah, we got a lot on that first attack, so even though we're goofing off quite a bit on this attack, it's not going to matter. Our Larrys are going to be the ones that finish off a bunch of clan houses, and we're just going to ×4 through them because they're eventually going to meet their doom upon this clan capital beam. So now they are in range, and yeah, They are about to meet their doom to that meteor crash. I love that animation, but it seems we haven't learned our lesson, and we're going to come in with some more Hog Raiders to finish off the base, but this time it's going to be different because now we can directly target the Town Hall as well as the Blast Bow with our Hog Raiders, and we can basically just perpetually stun those and then use a Giant to tank the rocket artillery. So you can see that we're just dropping in our Hog Raiders one at a time. Actually, a big pack of them died because the Town Hall, which locked onto a Bard from the Battle Ram, actually splashed a bunch of them. And so we lost a bunch of Hog Raiders, but we have a ton more left in the camps, and we're just stunning the defenses one at a time, and they're going to move forward. We're also going to stun this Crusher, make sure it doesn't do any damage to us. We can directly target it super easily. And we drop in our first heal, leading into the Inferno Tower, and we're also just going to drop in another Hog Raider to keep that Crusher stunned for even longer. And you can see that first heal gets us through that first bomb, and before my Hog Raiders get in range of that Giant Cannon, we drop in a Giant to tank that Giant Cannon, and so my Hog Raiders can sneak in from the backside and take that all out. A Giant Bomb pops, and so we drop in one more heal. You can see it was a good call to drop in that heal and not try to slag it, because another Giant Bomb pops up and gets my Hogs super low. They might have all died and turned into bacon had I not dropped that down, so we're not goofing off against a clan of this caliber. We're going to make sure we take them out in as few attacks as possible. And yeah, we almost get the perfect raid against WHF, but unfortunately my clanmates had different plans. Now before I go, make sure you join our Discord server if you haven't already. We just had a huge update with a bunch of cool new features being added, so come on over to chat with me and the other cool folks over there. But I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Like and subscribe if you did, and take care.